All right. Welcome, home viewers. We're so happy to have you back with us for Heat 4 of Startup Idol. I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with what's going on because you've survived the day with us. But we're at our final 32 startups that are competing to help get themselves traction and to become #1 here on Agora Startup Idol. So with that being said, my name is Arthi, and we have two of the judges we've had for most of the day with us, George, who is a self-identified legendary audio guru.
But now, to help you out, I Googled myself here, and you can see that there are several million hits. I hope that's helpful to you.
Okay, he's trying.
We're not going to read them all.
He's trying to prove that he is not just a self-identified legendary, but he is in fact legendary. So I'm glad we have some proof to support it. I still haven't verified whether that is the George Sanger I'm sitting next to or some other guy somewhere that has a lot of Google hits. But we do have Aksar with us, who is an angel investor and has been an awesome judge today. And we have a new judge, David Liu, who is from the Northern California Venture Capital Association. And I'll just turn it over to him for just 30 seconds to introduce himself.
Hello. Northern California Venture Capital Association was founded in 1983.
Northern California Venture Capital Association was founded in 1983 from UC Berkeley by 3 MBA. Okay, for 18 years, we give monthly meetings like this, providing a bridge between angels, VCs, lawyers, consultants to startup companies. To us, over the years, that for any startup company, the most important key factors are money, people, pipeline, especially on the 0 stage. So in basketball, you have a Madison Square Garden, you have the Knicks, you have a give and go, you have a pick and roll, you have a slam dunk. For us, NCVC and Northern California Venture Capital Association, you need a platform for the startup idol, startup companies, startup angels to play slam dunk, to play give and go, to play pick and roll. Good luck.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, woo! And we're so happy to have David here with us to share his plethora of wisdom. So with that being said, we're going to get started right away with today's startups. And the first startup we have with us is Fred from Kachingle. Fred, I was here when you were here last week competing. I'm really glad that you made it back with us. So with that being said, why don't we start your 2-minute pitch right now?
Okay, very good. Hi, everybody. My name is Fred Dewey. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kachingle. We are the saviors of freemium. Many web-based and native PC applications are using the freemium revenue model, which is where they offer many of their features for free, and then if you want to use the more advanced features, you have to pay a subscription fee. To be profitable, freemium vendors need to convert about 3 to 5% of their free users into paying customers. And studies show that most freemium users are only converting 1 to 2% of their users, which leaves them without a viable business model. Users are reluctant to start paying premium services because the free service is good enough and the premium service is not valuable enough. So we've created a large bundle of the premium features of many of the web and PC apps out there, which is a much more compelling offer to users than just the premium features of one app. That's because the user is now getting $50 worth of app value per month for just $5 a month. And that means more users will buy the bundle than would buy the individual premium feature. Additionally, because the app vendors are now pooling their users, each app vendor can serve and monetize a much larger base of users. The charter member of our first bundle is Avira, and they're bringing their 100 million users to the table. And as app vendors join the bundle and bring all their users, our user base will grow to more than 200 million users. We're conservatively estimating that 3 to 4% of the large pool of users will sign up for the bundle, and that will generate a revenue uplift for each of the app vendors of between 200 and 500% revenue uplift. And that will take them from unsustainable all the way up to profitable.
Fred, it looks like you've got 15 seconds.
Thank you. What makes this all possible is our revolutionary micropayment platform. It's been up and running for 2 years. We raised $500,000 in our angel round, and we're now raising a $2 million Series A round. Freemium's not working well for many vendors, and Kachingo is coming to the rescue.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. With that being said, we're going to move right on into our Q&A session. Why don't we start with our newest judge, David? You have a question for Fred?
Yes. You see, when we have Yahoo and Google here, so one of the engineer from mainland China take this idea back to China and become Baidu. Okay. So for your startup, I think the opportunity besides here in the States, also it can be internationalized, and also it can be in multi-language, borderless, multinational. So if you can keep it up, the pace with this $2 million round, and all the standby angels should look into it.
Yeah, thanks. We are actually already, the platform is already internationalized, and Avira, the charter member of our bundle, has 100 million customers all over the world already. So we're actually starting out international.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Fred. George, what about you?
Self-serving question again. I've got to ask Fred, in what ways did the previous round of judging influence your pitch for today?
I completely overhauled it since last week, and I made a lot of changes, but the main thing I did was to put a lot more passion into it, and that's the result of the feedback that you all gave me last week.
I feel it. Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely feel it. Okay, what about you, Aksar?
Yeah, how do you define the line between something that should be freemium or free and something that should be paid for in the net?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the key question is how compelling your content or how compelling your application is. If there's a lot of competition, then you're going to be more inclined to go with a freemium model where you build a huge user base off of your great product and then attempt to monetize it off of a couple of % converting. If you've got something that's unique and compelling, you can charge for it, straight up.
Cool.
Okay, thank you so much. With that, hopefully the judges have asked their questions. We're going to move right into our feedback. Aksar, why don't we start with you? Feedback and score, please.
Yeah, the one thing that was missing from your pitch, in my opinion, was a discussion about your current traction. Maybe I missed that, but that's the one part I missed. You know, how many users you have now? Are they growing? Are they using it? And my score for you is 4.8.
4.8. Wow. Okay.
4.8.
Awesome. Okay. I almost want to say congratulations, Fred. That's
Yeah.
probably the highest score I've heard today.
Thank you.
Okay, George, what about you?
I wish I remembered what score I gave you last time because I want it to move up. But I'm so bad at numbers, I can't remember if this is higher than what I gave you before. I just have to call it from the heart. It's a good, enthusiastic pitch. You're doing great stuff. As I said before, I think it's an inevitable, the bundling, you know, giving the consumers a lot of stuff for less money is inevitable, and it's a good thing. Package it up right, it'll be good. I'm giving you a 4.0, and I look forward to buying a bunch of your bundles for my fiance's kids and for just playing Santa with your help.
Great, thank you.
Wow, I didn't know George had the capacity to be so nice to people. Apparently his fiance's kids are the recipients of that kindness, which we at Agora Startup Idol have not yet
It's
seen.
called manipulation and bribery, but you can call it niceness if you'd like.
Awesome here.
Okay, what about you, David? What would you give Fred?
I think this got a tremendous potential, but on the other hand, there's a tremendous competition up there too. So the making or breaking point would be, as I mentioned, the first priority is money, people, pipeline is money. If you have enough of backup, your dream can come true. I'm giving you a 4.6 based on the potential.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome, Fred. Well, I really hope to see Kachingle getting some traction from you being on Agora Startup Idol. I'm sure you're driving your friends and your colleagues and, of course, your users to the Agora Startup Idol page to help you get that traction. And we really hope to see you here again. Judging by these scores, I think we will. We'll see you in our Sweet 16, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have Alberto from Go Get It, who's here with us by phone today. If you guys have been with us this afternoon, you know that we intermittently tend to have AV problems. So you shouldn't be too surprised by this. And in fact, we're trying to drive the whole world of internet and high technology users back to the telephone. So we've managed to do that successfully in the case of Alberto. Alberto, we're so happy to have you with us. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you. Can you hear me well?
Yes,
Fine.
we can. Perfect. So your 2 minutes start
Great.
right now.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm proud to say that Go Get It is the most voted project in the Startup Idol so far. Big thanks to the audience for that. Go Get It will turn the real estate search process into a social experience. In this speech, I want to leave you with 3 messages. If you have looked for real estate, you would agree it is a complicated and stressful process. We have a differentiated social-based solution to address that. And there is a big market out there, and we're focusing on a blue ocean. Let me share how we come up with the idea. I work as a marketing manager for Procter & Gamble, and in 2009, the company moved from Venezuela to Panama, relocating around 900 families. As I have been a real estate investor since 2004, and I'm passionate about it, I became the official in-house consultant for real estate. In this process, I had an aha moment. It helps big time when people find other people also looking for real estate, and they can talk and share information. However, you don't usually have hundreds of people looking for real estate sitting next to each other, but that's when Go Get It comes to life. We will connect millions of people looking for real estate in a platform where they can communicate as they were sitting together. We will develop a strong brand in Latin America to get the attention of the big players in the US as their way to expand abroad. While Latin America, it is a $1.2 billion market, and right now it is a blue ocean. There are no regional or high-tech players. Our main sources of income are property listing and advertising. And the 3 key differentiation drivers are the idea, social-based real estate search, a rewards and recognition program unique in the category, reapplying the frequent flyer programs, and user-friendly innovation, including proprietary algorithms already developed. We launched our free beta phase in March and already got the interest of Twitter's people. In fact, last week, we met with the Alliance's director as he believes we have a strong social idea. And we are the most voted project in the Startup Idol. That many people cannot be wrong. Finally, we're looking for investment and a mentor in technology. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alberto. Perfect, excellent timing. So we're going to move right into our Q&A. Why don't we start with you, George?
This is fun to hear about. One of my questions that came foremost is, I can understand in a social context how a lot of people looking for real estate would be motivated to ask other people about real estate. But is there something in your algorithm, something in your system that encourages people to tell about their real estate other than the people selling? Is there something that encourages, I looked at a place that had 3 bedrooms, I wanted 4, but you want 3, you should check this place out. How do you encourage that?
Yes, we have 2 things for that. One, we already did an online survey for more than 100 people, and one of the key questions was if they were able to rate the properties and reviews, they would do it. And more than 85% of the people claim at least they would do it. So there is an interest for the people that receive information to also get information, to share information. But also we will have a very, very strong rewards and recognition program. Everything you do on the webpage, you can have a reward for that in points. And the points, then you can use it for a status as the frequent flyer. So you can get, I don't know, silver, gold, premium status, but also get rewards. You could change that for money to get prizes in our alliance and partners. So you have 2 things, the status that will help, but also the points that can be shared for rewards and relevant rewards for you.
Very, very good answer.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Aksar, what about you? Do you have a question for Alberto?
Yeah, so do you see this, and you can answer it in two different ways, now versus later. Do you see this as mostly a service company that's providing a new technology-driven experience, or do you see that technology company as building out technology to allow you to create, individualized experience? So one would be something that requires continuous curation and effort from you guys' part, whereas the other one would be highly scalable. That's something that the person themselves does, and stuff like that.
We see ourselves as an user-based and as a social company. What we would do is we will develop but also reapply any technology and any process that help us to build a really strong user-based innovation. We have algorithms already developed from us. We have people working on our ideas on how to translate it into programming. But also we look everywhere for real estate tools that we can reapply. In fact, we have one thing that is important, that my partner has lived in 8 cities around the world. So he knows a lot of the real estate, even Australia, Europe. So we are reapplying many things that work, but also doing one from ourselves. I don't know if I get your question with that.
Yeah, the question was really just, is this, as you scale, do you see technology taking over a lot of the parts that the company does, or do you see basically you hiring a lot more people to do the work?
Yeah. I see hiring, I see technology helping us a lot to do the things automatically, but also have the amount of people required to have a really good service for the customers and for our users.
Okay, and do you make money off selling real estate or of some other services?
I make money by charging people for the publication. So every time someone publish a property, I get money for that. Also, I get money every time the property gets featured versus the other. And with the online advertising as our main sources of income. But really our vision is to also become a real estate consultant on generating a lot of analytics and a lot of data from our users and from our site to then sell it as a consultancy program for real estate professionals.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I believe that ends the time we have for the Q&A right now, but we'll move right on to feedback. And why don't we start with David? David, if you have a question, feel free to just slide it right in there.
Yes. The key to real estate is location, location, location. I think the key to real estate service startups is a differentiator, differentiator, differentiator. So what is your differentiation with all the portal and the website available online or on iPhone to do the same service?
Sure. We have, as I said, we have, I think, 3 things. The first one is the idea. We are going to be a social-based real estate search. That is something that is not so common, not even in the U.S. You have big players, as Zillow, as Julia, that works more on the analytics part and have a lot of PhD mathematics and all that stuff. What we do is something for the user. Get the user to share and to talk to each other in a way they can understand and they can communicate. So that is one of the things. The other important thing is how to motivate the people, having a very, very, very strong rewards and recognition program to feel motivated to invest or to share information with us, but also the user-based innovation, where we are doing things for the users that it helps them a lot on how to get the real estate. To give you an idea, we have something called Easy Get It, where many of the people, when I was a consultant in real estate, the people, the issue is they don't have what they want. So we have a series of specific questions for them to answer in a very simple way, and with that we gave them recommendations on what the real estate should be, if it should be for them. And okay. as that, we have a pipeline of innovation for the user.
Okay, thank you so much, Alberto. David, could you provide your score? as well?
I'm not too sure that this is going to be one of its own kind yet. So we need more time for you to prove, to improve your concept. So I will give you a 4.5 on this, and good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And George, what about you? Feedback and score, please.
Yeah, clearly a lot of thought has gone into this. I like the reward system a lot. I like the idea of making a social-based system for doing real estate. However, I'm not convinced that the space is as vacant as you imply. I want to believe it. And also, I'm not won over by, I see too much difference between someone's willingness to rate a property and calling this a social basis, you know, for buying real estate. So I want to rate it higher than this, but I have to be skeptical. I know you'll answer my questions in the next round when you go on to it. I'm giving you a 4.1.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alberto, you can't answer any questions right now, but thank you so much. We'll go right on to Aksar, please.
Yeah, from my side, as far as feedback, I'd say you want to slow down your pitch a little bit. Try to say less, but project more meaning. There was parts where it was hard to follow what you were saying. And the other aspect is, I'm not sure if you have any integration into existing social services. I think that rating real estate is important, but I'm not really sure if it's a big enough draw to sort of have a real estate serving company from that. It could be. And I give you a 4.0.
Okay. Alberto, thank you so much. I really hope that we see you again, and I wish Go Get It, you know, the best of luck. I think, you know, our judges have provided you with some hopefully helpful feedback, and, you know, I hope you take that and just sort of soar with it, and we see you again. But thank you for being with us, and, you know, I could definitely feel your energy even over the phone, so we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks to all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You know, he set a really good example for other startups, bringing so much energy and so many followers onto agorastartupidol.com. We really got to thank him for that. Thanks very much.
Definitely. Okay, so we have Mike here with us from 42 Maps. Mike, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Awesome. Mike, we're really happy to have you back with us. And with that said, your 2 minutes start now.
Hi, I'm Mike, and our recently launched product is 42 Maps. Most succinctly, we are a location search engine. From if you're looking for a bagel shop in New York City to a museum in Prague, we'll help you find the best place to go. Other products out there, such as TripAdvisor or Yelp, kind of give you the sense of having to do research and work. And what we're trying to do is make something dead simple, where we get your location, city, and what you're looking for, and we give you a list of the best place to go. The other thing we've noticed with a lot of the other products out there is that they put a lot of weight on customer reviews and ratings. And what we're trying to do, and what we value, is when people physically go to a location and on top of that, check in, broadcast to their of whether or not a place is good or bad. And so we've leveraged a lot of this Facebook data, this massive amount of Facebook data from people checking in all over the world, and it's not just contained in the US, and put it into this algorithm where we help recommend places to people. The meat of what we do is in the algorithm and what signals that we decide to use and deem is valuable in what sense. And ultimately, what we want to create is this experience where you come to our 42 Maps website or our 42 Maps Android app, and it's already pre-populated with
Mike, it looks like you've got 15 seconds.
all of the locations that you would like to go to, and make it seamless, make it something that you can incorporate into your life a lot easier, and just feel at ease to use. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Why don't we start this round of, well, okay. I was going to start with David since he didn't get to go last time, but I got George here, you know, being judge and host and everything else under the sun. So go ahead, George. What would you like to say or ask?
I just wanted to say your video stream got a little bit clogged right around where you made your key differentiation. You were saying that you were saying how you determine what's best as opposed to emphasizing ratings. You're emphasizing something else, and we didn't quite get the noun at the end of that.
So
Facebook data.
Yeah, so we feel that people checking in and physically going to a place is a great indicator of whether or not a place is great. And especially the fact that they're broadcasting to their friends and taking pictures of things and really promoting it and feeling good promoting it. It's a great indicator. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, go ahead, George. Do you have any other questions?
No, that was enough.
That was enough? Okay.
I used my credit wisely.
I'm impressed. David, what about you?
Well, yes. How do you, if this business model, business idea is so great, how do you stop people from getting into to have the same idea, the same business model to compete? In other words, what's your entrance hurdle, entrance barriers to prevent any copy or any more strong competition? And the second is that with the timing, okay? So if when internet just begin, okay, when Google, Yahoo just begin, if you're the first mover advantage, startups would be super. At this moment, I don't know how many same startup out there. Do you have any information?
To address the first question, I think competition is great, and there's no real way to stop other people from competing, but we feel like we can do a better job. How we utilize this data and how we see the need of people and what they actually are looking for and what this data can tell. Just basically, we think we can do the best job of doing this. And it kind of ties into your second question of what's already out there. And yeah, there are a lot of products that have existed, like Yelp and TripAdvisor, but check-ins have been something that's been recent, and we really haven't found many other people that have taken a look at the massive amount of data that Facebook has on locations and been able to really utilize them well and to create a product around that. And we feel pretty confident in what we've done.
Good,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Oscar?
Yeah, it sounds very interesting in terms of an idea. It's really hard to tell if it's successful until you guys basically get a number of users and start going through it. It'd be interesting to know about your, I guess, marketing plan or your growth plan for the users.
That's something we haven't up to this point really looked at. We've been focusing on our product. We've been developing it live online, so it's been out there, but we feel like it's scalable, but I don't know if at this point we can support its scalability. I guess we're looking into investments and maybe securing an investment to be able to be ready to truly launch and market it and really get the word out for this product.
Okay, and the other question I had was, which cities, are you guys live in all 42 cities or just like 1 or 2 centers?
Oh, 42 cities is just a name for our app, but it's live everywhere. Everywhere that people check in on Facebook, from the Philippines to India to Africa to Europe. And so there's already all this data out there. And so it's an active working product for everywhere, pretty much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mike. We're going to move right into the feedback portion of 42 maps. So we'll start with Uxer. Why don't we actually start with you?
I really like your service. I think it's interesting. I think your guys' website needs a little bit of an update for the content people check out. And it would be interesting to know, again, you know, how do you guys make money, and how would you be able to sort of support your guys' company? That's about it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And
what
the
about your score?
Score 4.3.
4.3. Okay, awesome. Thank you. George, what about you? What's your feedback and score, please?
The score is 3.8. The feedback is that it's a good product. It's going to run into a whole lot of competition, and I think that what you've done to differentiate it is going to be pretty replicable. You're gonna, and unfortunately, you may have the best algorithm in the world, but I haven't seen it yet. So maybe it's my fault, but I can only give you a 3.8. Maybe next time you can put me over the top with your pitch. Thanks very much for coming out, and good luck.
Thank you. David, what about your feedback and score, please?
I will give you a 4.0. Thank you.
Okay, well, was that helpful for you, Mike?
Yeah, it was great. Thank you guys all so much.
Okay, awesome. Well, we really hope to hear more about and see 42 maps and see it, you know, sort of become a presence in our lives. We wish you all the best, and we hope that, you know, you're back with us again in the Sweet 16. So thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. All right, so we're going to have Tyler with us from the Paleo Project. And Tyler's okay. The Paleo Project. Hey, Tyler, how's it going?
Hi. Doing wonderful.
Okay.
Yourself?
Yeah, we're doing really well. Well, you're our last startup for the day, so we are really happy to have you here with us, and we've managed to somehow keep our enthusiasm levels up, so we hope you're really enthusiastic as well.
Of course.
And we'll see that enthusiasm in your pitch, which we will start now.
All right, so the Paleo Project is a game being based around the Paleo race. It's the Paleo di Siena in Siena, Italy. And the race is a horse race that's based completely around these contradas, these 17 like regions of Paleo that the race for like leadership of the area. So we're trying to take the passion and this like awesome culture and bring it into a game. Now with that, like it's a really aggressive competition, which we find is extremely popular with the game market. It's also a cultural item, which is new and original. It's not a culture you see represented in games quite a bit. And with the game, we're trying to do a stylized focus. So we're trying to give it the realistic feel of the Paleo, but at the same time have it a unique stylization. And one of the big benefits of what we're doing here is our budget's very small because we're a student team. Being a student project gives us the advantage of working for little to no budget, which really lowers our total risk because our return needs to be smaller to actually return on it. So like our big strengths are the project's unique, the budget's low, it's a genre that is really untapped, and we have skilled professors and a very low scope. Some of our weaknesses though, of course, are we're a student team, we don't have a publisher yet, and we don't personally have any publishing experience as a group. Our big opportunities are we can introduce a whole new audience to this Paleo and this culture. And you know, we can create a new genre, or at least bring back an old one that hasn't existed for a long time. We can also potentially, you know, an opportunity here is to get a Paleo license or to eventually get licenses for other horse racing groups. You know, any other major horse racing thing may be interested in working with us from this show of work. And the only other major things, like the major threats we have is right now we are a student project, so that can be a disadvantage. And the only other threat is the possibility of marketing failing or falling through. But other than that, I'm very confident we can take this project, take these, take the SWOT and really grow
Tyler, you got
and get to a
15
point of success. Well, I'm done, so that's perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a feeling you were wrapping up. That was well timed. Thank you so much. That was certainly an enthusiastic pitch. I'm very interested to see what questions our judges have for you. Uxer, why don't we start with you? Questions for Tyler?
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much for your pitch. It's really cool to see games coming out, trying to change cultural events into something new and interesting like that. My first question is, what kind of game is it going to be? Is it going to be, one of those iPad games? Is it going to be one of those PC games, a web-based game?
So it's a PC game, and actually, George, I'm sorry, you grilled me on this last time, and I slipped my mind. It is a PC game, and it's a game where you actually play as the horse and occasionally the jockey, because this is a race where the jockey can fall off and the horse can still win. So you actually play as the horse with the jockey as an additional mechanic, and it is PC.
And my second question was, is there, what are you looking for in getting this game going? Money, help, promotion?
So promotion and financial are the two major things. So right now we have a Kickstarter video running. If you look right up here, we actually have the link for the Kickstarter. So we're aiming for the $10,000 for that. Yeah, it may not be completely visible, but we are running a Kickstarter trying to raise 10K. And that's going towards all the different licenses and things like that we need, as well as we're sending a select group of our team to the Palio itself to record the audio, to get the actual crowd, to interview some of the contradas, and actually kind of get part of that experience so we can make sure to realistically portray it.
Okay, thank you. George, you work a lot with video games. I'm actually interested in what you have to ask and say.
We're looking to, you could actually make the Palio, you could increase its popularity by making it all the rage if the game is just right. Now, what would distinguish the game as a trendsetter would be, you say that it's stylized, and can you reach into a drawer right where you are and pull out a piece of artwork and show us what the stylization looks like?
Tear this down. Okay. So if you take a look at the horses, you can see that they're not they're very almost like geometric shapes. They're not very smooth and well done. So we're trying to take things like that and give it really a very bright color, a very bright palette of colors. So the goal is to give it this really vibrant feel, while still selling realism of the environment.
Can you give us one more gameplay point that's interesting, that's compelling as a gamer that I'm not going to find in another game?
So the thing that I was mentioning earlier is one of my favorites. The fact that you play as the horse and not the jockey. The jockey is just an extra mechanic you have until your jockey falls off. So while you're playing in the first few seconds of the race with the jockey, you could be whipping the other jockey, whipping their horse. Your jockey goes and falls off or gets knocked off by someone else, but you are still playing because you're the horse, not the player itself. I guarantee you can't find a game that does that.
Do I run over the other jockeys?
You can. It's possible.
All right. Well, I appreciate your answer. I also appreciate the fact that George looked over at me timidly before asking his second question. It seems that he's finally learned that, on the show, at least on this stage, there can only be one boss, and it is clear who that is. So I appreciate, the demeanor there. And David, we're excited to hear your question as well.
I heard that your team is a student startup.
Yes.
It's okay. I don't think any disadvantage on that. Yahoo, Google, you all stars when they were students in Stanford University. Yeah. Game, it's getting more and more important, more and more popular. Okay. So I think the key at this moment to you, it will be find the smart money, smart angel, not only provide you with finance, but also as a young team of yours, also can coaching you, can lead you the way. to grow. My question would be, you cannot be a one product company. So on the gaming field, so after this idea, you have any other ideas?
Yeah. So through the school that we're all part of, this is actually part one of what we're calling the diverse universe. And what we're going to be doing is looking at other cultural aspects of other, other countries and things like that, and taking the same concept of taking this piece of culture and introducing it in a game to generations that may have never experienced it on their own.
Good, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to let George make a quick announcement. He seems antsy and he's fidgeting with, everything he can up here. So
I always look like that.
Go ahead, George.
I got a cryptic message here from the boss that says talk Kickstarter, and I think what he's trying to get me to say is tell us your Kickstarter address so that we can go there and contribute money to you. And what kind of great premiums do we get if we give, say, $500?
All right, so that's something I can gladly do. Just give me a split second and I'll put the link up again. So the link is right here on the video for you guys.
http://kck.st/h82008.
Right on, George. And we have all sorts of great rewards. We actually have a corporate sponsorship offer there that we still have 2 available for. And with that corporate sponsorship, you will actually get your advertisements at the beginning of the game or potentially inside the game. And for people just looking to get the game, for $10, you get yourself a copy. For $20, you get the game and the beta. And further down the line, you can get statues, you can get hand-painted models, you can get your face in the game. So you can get all sorts of really cool swag for backing us on that Kickstarter.
Wow, that sounds really awesome. Okay, so with that, we're going to move right into the feedback portion of Paleo Project's pitch. So, George, why don't we start with you? Feedback and score.
It was going to be a 3.9, but since I could get my face into the game, which I've only done maybe 8 times, I need to bump that up a little bit. It's been a while. So we'll go for a 4.1.
And please find a way not to get his face in the game. But I appreciate what you're doing overall. David, what about you? What's your feedback for Tyler?
Silicon Valley is the birthplace of the worldwide games by Norman Bushnell. Okay, so I think games still is ever booming, ever growing. I will give you a 4.7 and good luck.
All right, 4.7. Okay, go for it. You're up.
Yeah, I think you should definitely mention your Kickstarter campaign as part of your pitch, because here at the Go to Startup, you are trying to get publicity, and in this case, it will be directly transferable to something people can help you with, the Kickstarter. And my other point was that it's not really clear that your game is, I'm sure people will be playing your game, but I'm not sure if the best buyers for your game are actually people. Maybe the best buyers for your game are people in charge of cities' tourism or people in charge of city culture, because those kind of people might be interested in buying something that you're doing, for $10,000 and having, this game for the city. Thing to consider, in my opinion. And I give you a 4.3.
All right, excellent feedback, Uxter. Thank you. I'm sure Tyler appreciates that. Tyler, that's where you jump in and say, yes, I am so appreciative.
I was putting it in the chat because I didn't think I could actually respond. But yeah, no, that's a great idea. And it's something we'll definitely explore when we go to Italy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. Your game sounds really, really fun. I'm, not super into PC games myself, but I think after, virtually meeting you.
Will be.
Well, yeah, wow, I should make more statements like that. If I knew that would have worked to get this guy to move away. No, but you know what? I will definitely check you out. It was great to have you on Agora Startup Idol. I hope to see you back next week or the week after for the Sweet 16. Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so that was the end of our last heat of the day. Tomorrow you'll be getting to see the remainder of the surviving 32. So we'll have another set of 16 excellent startups that are going to pitch to you. Come back, log in, earn some $2. It'll be great for you. You'll get to buy some stuff. The startups will really appreciate the feedback you're providing. As you can see, we do have some excellent judges. We also have George here. So, I'm sure that they'll appreciate any additional feedback that they can get from the home viewers. Thank you so much. And tune back in 10 minutes or so for our wrap-up session of the day, where we'll announce today's winners. Thank you so much. Thanks to all our judges, including...
Nice meeting you.